What is good, yo? It's your boy Ty back here with another video. And in this video today, we are going to be going over some of the top power forwards in NBA 2K22 MyTEAM on a tier list. Now, I rank them S through F, F being like garbage, literally unusable, S being the top of the top. Now, obviously, a lot of these are going to be the same, such as a guy like for example, you got Mourning and Kirilenko. He was on the small forward list, but a lot of people might want to see where AK would be ranked as far as a power forward. I also do have Jayson Tatum on here because I think he came out the day I recorded my small forward tier list, and because obviously he was not on that because I recorded it before he came out. So just things to think about. Now, before we dive any further, man, if you are new to my channel, make sure to smash that subscribe button as we're on the road towards 100,000 subscribers. We're going to start it off here with Alonzo Mourning. Now, if there is one thing about Alonzo Mourning that can be said, it's outside of his release, this card is one of the top statistical cards in the entire game. And I'm not just saying that to say that. Look at the stats, guys. Basically above 90 everything is what you're looking at for Alonzo Mourning, and defensively so complete. It's one of those things, if you can deal with his shot, he's elite. It's just the upper 57 that is horrible. I mean, Craig Hodges' release, if you don't know what that is, trust me, you don't want to know. It's not very good, but again, defensively, Alonzo Mourning's absolutely elite. I'm going to put him right now at C tier. He might end at B tier. It's just one of those things we're going to have to see where this list goes. I just do not like Alonzo Mourning's release at all. Mourning and Kirilenko up next. Power forward position, I still think he is A tier. Now, I prefer running taller lineups, and so with that being said, I guess for me, AK isn't necessarily a guy that I would recommend at the power forward position. I would much rather run him at small forward. But with that being said, AK is still really solid at that power forward position. Decent enough rebounder, has every defensive badge in the game, most in Hall of Fame. Obviously, shooting wise solid. It's just the jump shot 98 on quick. If you like jump shot 98, base 98 on quick, you're gonna have no issues. But if you want it on very quick, you might have some issues just, shooting a lot of those slightly early type shots with AK-47. But dribbling wise, very solid. Definitely going to be better on current gen than next gen. Blake Griffin up next. And Blake Griffin's going to be our first S tier. Now, is Blake going to stay at S tier? I'm not quite sure. But I really do like Blake Griffin. Now, I like other power forwards more than Blake. I just want to kind of clarify and make that known. But if you don't think Blake's top 5, I think you're wrong. Blake Griffin base on very quick. Kobe size escape. Scotty behind the back. Shifty dribble style. What more do you want out of your power forward? The only thing he doesn't got is he doesn't have the cheesy release like Bob Netolicky, who we will get to later, and he is not super tall. So when compared him to a guy like David Robinson, Patrick Ewing, that's the other kind of flip side of it. But as times went on, my respect for Blake Griffin has only grown larger. Next up, Bob Netolicky, S tier, and he still to this day might be the best power forward in the game. I go back and forth between Bob Netolicky and another guy that we will get to later on in this list. But man, oh man, do I love this card. This card, as far as a MyTEAM Unlimited reward, is the most underrated MyTEAM Unlimited reward we have gotten in a very, 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 very long time. Even when the card came out and I did a gameplay, I thought he was good. I did not think he was this good. Set shot 25 on very quick, so cheesy. Quick dribble style, and that's really all he needs. He's got quick dribble style, and honestly, guys, the pro size of escape isn't horrible for him. Defensively, super complete. Obviously, offensively, it says an 86 3 ball. You give him a coach that's decent, he's going to green basically everything. I'm a big fan of what Bob Netolicky can do for you. I think might be the best power forward in 2K right now. Bob Pettit up next. I mean, look, guys. Bob Pettit's not horrible. I just kind of want to make that known before I go any further that this card is not horrible. I mean, you run Bob Pettit, you can get by with running him. The problem is there's just better cards in the game right now than Mr. Bob Pettit. I don't think he's worthless. I'm going to put him at D tier. We might move him down depending on where some other cards settle. But again, I don't think if you run Bob Pettit, he is going to absolutely hurt you on that end of the court. Bol Bol up next. And Bol Bol is a tough one. Is Bol Bol A tier? I'm going to lean B tier for the base Bol Bol. And this is a tough one for me because if you get a Bol Bol with, extra Hall of Famer stuff like that, he's obviously better. But the hard part for me is he is so incomplete and stat-wise, he's not good. I get he's 7'2", 7'7" wingspan. That's why he's at B tier. But we're starting to see, just players that do a lot more for you on the court than Bol Bol. Now, again, 7'2", can't be overstated, but he's got Brook Lopez base on normal timing, not great speed, terrible strength, not a great defensive player. I like Bol Bol. I just think there's better power forwards right now out there than him in 2K. Chris Bosh is another guy I want to put at S tier, and right now I'm going to. I don't want to put this whole list at S tier, so we're going to eventually have to move some people around. But I don't know how I'm supposed to leave any of these guys off. I mean, Chris Bosh is one of the most complete power forwards in the game. And as far as shooting the ball, maybe one of the top. Fundamental dribble style, Kobe size escape, jump shot 70 on very quick is just fine. His upper makes jump shot 70 look kind of different, kind of weird. But if you do use Chris Bosh, you're definitely going to get the hang of his release. And I don't mind Chris Bosh at all. I think when we talk about Chris Bosh, we gotta, hype him up a little bit because, again, I think he can do a lot for you. And really, you can have a lot of success with this card. So, just with another one of these power forwards that I think is up there for being the top in the game. Chris Webber, look, for his time was okay. But my thing is this. He's not great in my team. I mean, I do think he is Alonzo Mourning's level. Alonzo Mourning's going to do everything outside of shoot the ball better than Chris Webber, but shooting the ball is very important. Where I'm still taking Bol Bol over Chris Webber. Again, you can have Chris Webber on the court. He's not going to kill you. But is he better than a guy like Bol Bol? Is he as good as Mourning and Kirilenko? Short answer is no. Sadly, he's not. And I think Christian Laettner belongs in that same tier. Where it's one of those things where at D tier we got Bob Pettit, who I would not want to play with. At C tier, you can play all of these guys and have decent success with it. 31 on quick, good upper, Kevin McHale upper, Kobe sides escape again, fundamental dribble style. You can use Christian Laettner in any type of setting and get by with it. There's no question about it. But it's one of those things, he's not a card I want to run in a comp type setting. Whereas a guy like Danny Ferry, I'd be a little bit more comfortable. Again, I don't love Danny Ferry, and I'll be the first to say that. But I'd be more comfortable with Danny Ferry than a guy like Christian Laettner. 98 on quick dribble style. Just simply put, not quite as good as Mourning and Kirilenko is the simplest way to describe it. But he still is solid enough, especially on current gen. Again, we got to take both next gen and current gen into consideration because I don't even know where the majority of you guys are playing right now. I still know it's super tough to find next gen consoles out there. So it's just one of those things. We got to talk about next gen and current gen both. But again, for Danny Ferry, going to be better on current gen. It's that simple, but very solid on both gens. Danny Manning one step below. I did use Danny Manning when I played Grinch on my No Money Spent. Danny Manning was obviously on there in the wager, and Danny Manning had no flaws. And that's the one thing I will say is if you get a guy like Monty Williams, who I did have, you're looking at an 88 3 ball, 95 speed, 95 interior, 94 perimeter. His stats look very similar to this guy right here, who we'll get to later on in this video, on Julius Randle. And when I'm not capping, like his defensive stats are so similar to this guy in Julius Randle. Wait a second. They changed Julius Randle? When did this happen? They must have just changed Julius Randle. Did I miss out on stuff? Hold up. I need to check Twitter right now. Because I just think they updated this card and I might have missed it. Everybody was slandering how Julius Randle only had 17 Hall of Famers. And the next thing I know is he's got 22 Hall of Famers. So, hey, they updated Julius Randle. They gave him Hall of Fame catch and shoot. Some more Hall of Fame defensive badges. So, credit to 2K. Shout out to 2K for updating the Julius Randle. I'm going to look on my console to see if Julius Randle does have those 22 Hall of Famers, because that's a big deal that they did update him. But if that is the case, if they did update Julius Randle, shout out to 2K. That's all I can say. And they did. He's got 22 Hall of Fame badges. So that makes a big difference, and I can't really compare the cards anymore. But shout out to 2K for doing that, man. Making Julius Randle with those 22 Hall of Famers. Who will get to, I might as well get to him next. Julius Randle, I was going to drag him right in there to C tier. But now with 22 Hall of Famers, we've got to talk about Julius Randle a little bit more, okay? Why? Why do we got to talk about Julius Randle a little bit more? Because if you do give him blinders, chefs, circus threes, deadeye, all these badges, he doesn't miss anything. I know the card didn't come with ankle braces, but 2K put it on him. And so it's one of those things. Julius Randle was already very good in my team. Now they made Julius Randle that next level better. Julius Randle's more on, honestly, more comparable even to he's not comparable to AK, but more comparable to the guys at B tier than anybody below. And I'm glad I waited to do this video until after they did update Julius Randle, because that is, that is, you must see that, right? Julius Randle is a lot better now than he was before, just with those 5 added badges. David Robinson up next, and again, we'll sort out S tier once I have to. I'm going S tier right now with David Robinson. I mean, it's a simple thing on why I'm going S tier with the card. It's because he's good, man, and it's because I love him. He's good and I love him, and that signifies a great combination in my team. Great shooting wise, he does shoot a lot of fulls, but with Hall of Fame sniper, he makes most of them. Defensively, super complete, 7-1. Get you a lot of fluke rebounds, stuff like that. I'm a big David Robinson supporter. I really am. I run him on basically any account I'm on right now. Now, Shaq obviously changed things a little bit, but you can't, get over the 7-1 height. You can't. Extra possessions, extra rebounding, stuff like that is something I love for David Robinson. Dino Radja up next, and I'm going A tier for Dino Radja. Now, why am I going A tier? Well, it's his wingspan, man. The wingspan of Dino Radja cannot be overstated. It just can't. Stat-wise, badge-wise, this card looks very mediocre. You play in-game with Dino, and you know what I'm going to talk about, right? It's just the wingspan. Jump shot 4 on very quick, it's a good release. Kobe size of escape with fundamental dribble style, solid. But here's the deal. I'm going to say this. He does need a 3-ball shoot. He does. Get that 3-ball to an 84. Lateral quickness block upgraded a little bit, and then we're looking at a Dino Radja, who is very fine in my team. But again, I think I would rather run Dino right now than a guy like Julius Randle. I'm going A tier for Dino Radja. Next up, Mr. Dirk Nowitzki, and we're going S tier. Again, I'm going to have to sort all these guys out, and I'll do that eventually. But all these cards are going to be absolutely elite at the power forward position. Mr. Dirk here is 65 Hall of Famers, 12 on gold. Dirk's base on very quick, not as bad as I initially thought it would be. Fundamental dribble style, Kobe size of escape, which is solid. Again, basically a perfect card. Defensively, every Hall of Famer you could ask for. If Dirk's your favorite power forward in the game, I get it, and I'm not going to argue with that. Dolph Schayes is a guy, for today's game, that's not very good. And why is Dolph not good? Because he's undersized, and simply put, he's not as good as Julius Randle. It's that simple, right? You want to hype up Dolph Schayes, you can, but he doesn't give you nearly as much as Julius Randle. He's still C tier because he does have a good release, right? Base 38 on quick, but he does not do enough to be any higher than C tier right now. Draymond Green at the power forward position is A tier, okay? If you want to run him as small forward, I do think he's S tier. I think he's top 5 at that small forward position. Power forward, I'm not quite as high on him just because he really is a little bit undersized, but still jump shot 12 on very quick with quick dribble style, Scotty behind the back. I still do like the card. I just, again, think his best position is that small forward position. Dwight Howard, we're going B tier for Dwight Howard. Why? I just don't think he's as good as Dino. And if you want any more explanation, it's really his player mod on player build. Both cards are 6'11". Dino just has a 7'11" wingspan, which is just ridiculous. Dino's going to shoot the ball a little bit better. Dwight might give you a little bit more rebounding and on the defensive end of the court. I think it really is preference. I just think overall, Dino is the more complete player when comparing him to Dwight Howard. Giannis Antetokounmpo, another player I'm dragging into B tier. Now, a lot of people don't like Beast Giannis, and I want you guys to hear me out. If you don't like Beast Giannis, that's cool. But I think he's every bit as good at the power forward position as Dwight Howard. And that's my final opinion on it. Why? Because most people have Monty Williams probably, or obvious, the +5 3-ball boost. You look at it, a 99 speed, 94 interior, 95 perimeter, good shooting badges, defensively very complete. This card is nearly just as good as the Dark Matter. Not quite as good, nearly just as good. And he just gets slept on, man. I don't think he's A tier. But I am a big Galaxy Opal Giannis stan. And most of you guys probably know that. Hakeem Olajuwon, if you have the Ralph duo, makes him a little bit better. But overall, I do think Hakeem Olajuwon is B tier. I don't think he quite is as good as Dino. Without the duo, obviously with the duo makes him a little bit better. It's one of those things. He's fine in my team. He really is. Gonna play well defensively, shooting wise, fine. You give him the duo, helps his 3-ball a little bit, gives him some more badges in general, helps him out a little bit here as well. Can't really make that many plays. I still think he is B tier, but again, if you get the right Hakeem, gonna be really solid, especially with the duo. Card I like more than Hakeem though is Jack Sigma. Again, It's one of those things, the Sigmas of the world, the Dinos of the world, I just like because I feel like they're more complete cards. You're looking for a power forward in my team right now that's really cheap. I'm going to look at his price right now for you guys. But if you guys are looking for a good, cheap power forward in my team that you don't have to spend any MT on badges on, your answer is Jack Sigma. I mean, I don't know how much simpler it can get. I see people all the time asking, hey, Ty, what power forward should I get? Bro, just get Jack Sigma. The difference between a guy like David Robinson and Jack Sigma is minuscule. And Jack Sigma, you know, is 1/4 or 1/5 the price. It just doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me if you don't run Jack Sigma. I'm a big fan of the card. He's close to S tier. James Wiseman. I don't rate Wiseman highly. He might go up a tier, and he's going to, but I hate his release. And hate's a strong word, and I hate Wiseman's release. He does a lot for you on the court, and I get that. Set shot 30 on very quick is such a slow release in my team. They gotta fix the next James Wiseman that we get. This James Wiseman is fine. I don't want him to be that good, but it's one of those things for the future. We've got to fix James Wiseman. He's still better than Alonzo Mourning overall, in my opinion, because he is 7 feet tall. Jayson Tatum up next. We're talking about the power forward position. I guess I'd still go A tier. He's probably A tier at the small forward and power forward position. I don't think he's as good as Draymond Green side by side, but the cards are close. And if I would be lying to you guys to say it's not all preference based. Tatum, good enough rebounder to play at the 4 if you really wanted him to be. Shooting wise, obviously solid. Can make his own, can make some plays, create his own shot. I do like Jayson Tatum in general. Jermaine O'Neal finds himself at A tier as well. Again, a lot of these newer cards are going to be at A tier just because they're a little bit more complete than the guys we have seen in the past. I like Jermaine O'Neal. Quick dribble style, Kobe size of escape, Scotty behind the back. I'm getting better with his release. His release, the green window on it is pretty small. But overall, guys, I have gotten better with it as times went on. But I do like Jermaine O'Neal in general. 6'11", 7'3" wingspan, a perfect power forward to fit your squad. Jimmy Butler. And this one might surprise a few people, but I'm sorry. Here's the deal. You guys, a lot of people like typing up Jimmy Butler. He's nothing compared to this Draymond Green. And that's as simple as I can put it. You want to sit there and hype up Jimmy Butler, that's fine. But I'm telling you guys straight away right now, he is nothing compared to Draymond. Draymond's got way better stats, a way better release. And we're talking about the power forward position in May. Jimmy Butler is C tier. I know DBG is going to hate that. But here's the deal, guys. Jimmy Butler is not even close with the update to being as good as Julius Randle. He's not. You guys are going to be like, well, look at the stats. Okay, I get it. Jimmy is a little better defensively. But when does quick dribble style and the Kobe size of escape come into play? It's right now. Sorry, Jimmy. Power forward position, you're simply put not it. A card that is it is Jonathan Isaac, an A tier power forward in my team. I've said it all along. I know you guys are asking me to start bench and cut all along, but guys like Dino, guys like Jack Sigma, guys like Jermaine O'Neal, Jonathan Isaac, throw them all in the same tier, guys. It is all preference when asked about those guys. To me, I do think probably Jack Sigma is the best out of them all, but all those guys, all the guys at the end here are in the same boat. Karl Malone, I guess I gotta go A tier with probably. I'm not the biggest Karl Malone stan, and I want you guys to know that, but I respect him enough to put him in A tier. I mean, Karl Malone based on quick dribble style, Kobe size of escape, really solid badge-wise. Again, most people aren't going to get Karl Malone, but I got to throw him on here and put him in that tier. Kevin Love, a card I do like, but I got to put in B tier. Again, I like Kevin Love, and I want you guys to understand that. Kevin Love was on my no money spent for a while, but with cards like Dino and Sigma, he just got replaced. Again, very solid option. Again, another card that came out in the takeoff set. Very quick Kevin Love base is super solid. So look at it, takeoff, right? We got Dino, we got Jermaine, we got Jayson Tatum, Draymond Green, Kevin Love. I think as a community, we are underrating how good the takeoff sets have been. Kevin Love, another solid guy that came in a takeoff drop. Dunktober Jokic is the definition of mid. And I know you guys are going to sit here and be like, well, but Todd, DBG told me he was the best card in the game. What I'm going to say is this. Look, does defense not matter? His defense is horrible. It really is. Set shot 14 on very quick is good. Dribbling wise, fine. His defense is horrible in my team. He's lucky he's at B tier. And that's as simple as I can put it. We are going to move some people around just because we have to. I mean, it's just the way it's got to be, I guess. for today's game. But I like Danny. I can't do this, man. Maybe we won't even have anybody in F tier. Maybe this is a list we won't even have anybody at F tier. We'll see as time goes on. Siakam, guys, for today's game is mid. And I don't mean to say Siakam is bad, because he's not bad. He's just not great overall. I mean, you check his release, 75 on normal timing, slasher, dribble style. He's not very good in my team. He's really not. I mean, for today's game, guys, he's D tier. And you guys can hate that if you want, but it's the way it is. Siakam is not good for today's game. He was good in January. He's not good in May. It's that simple. Patrick Ewing up next. Again, we'll sort through S tier later. For now, I'm going to drop Patrick Ewing down because I do think he would be the worst person at S tier, and I only want to keep 5 in there at a time. I know there's going to be another guy up, but for now, Patrick Ewing's going down to A tier. A card I definitely like. If he had jump shot 4 on very quick, he might be S tier still to this day. A card you could argue is in S tier because of his good length and versatility. But a card for me who I think exemplifies what A tier is about. Pau Gasol, I mean, I can't even sit here and say I've used Pau Gasol that much, but a lot of people have used him against me, and a lot of people have hyped up this card in the past. My whole thing is, he is not great, guys. He's really not. I don't even think he is C tier. I think he is D tier. I think everybody at C tier blows Pau Gasol out of the water. For a time, he probably was okay, and he did his thing. The sad part is, it's just not that time anymore in 2K. Penny Hardaway next up, and is Penny Hardaway as good as Jimmy Butler? I don't think so at the power forward position. So it's going to be a sad day for Penny Hardaway. Man, if he was at the point guard position, I'd be super high on the card. The problem is he's at the power forward position. He's only 6'7". He's D tier for today's game. We're getting to a lot of these rough guys down here at the end. Power within Shaq, okay? Not the invincible Shaq. Power within Shaq, I'm going into C tier. This card, defensively, was just ridiculous. Okay, he was absolutely ridiculous for his time on the defensive end of the court. He even had the Kobe sides of escape with base dribble style, which he moved pretty well. Problem was, you can't shoot at all with this card, and that's a liability. Invincible Shaq, there's no doubt about it, top S tier, and if I have to move somebody down right now, it's gotta be Chris Bosh. I do love Shaq in general, okay? The one thing with it is a lot of people will misuse this card. A lot of people think they got Invincible Shaq and they can use him as a primary ball handler, use him as a pure lock. Guys, he's a power forward center. Use him like that, okay? A lot of people are saying Shaq's not good. Let me tell y'all this. Maybe everybody's just misusing the card, man. Just use him as a power forward in my team, as a good off-ball defender, as a good spot-up shooter that can occasionally make a play, and you'll have more success with Shaq. Sharif Abdur-Rahim, I mean, At this point in my team, I'm not going to spend too much time on him. He's pretty mediocre at this point. I do think he is better than Pascal Siakam, so I'm going to leave him in C tier, but I don't love the card for today's era. Shaquille Kemp, another card I think I got to go B tier with, but it's just a card that is not great anymore. For his time, he was, the only power forward in the game with quick dribble style, but now we got guys like Julius Randle who, simply put, are just better than Shaquille Kemp. I don't know what else there is to say. Julius Randle is just a little better version of Shaquille Kemp, in my opinion. And because of that, I'm putting Shaquille Kemp in the C tier. Thon Maker. This guy belongs in B tier, though there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Power forward position. I like him because he's 7 feet tall. Decent enough interior because he is 7 feet tall. Good playmaking badges. Jump shot 47 on quick is his really only downside because that is a little slower release. But as just an overall power forward in 2K, Thon is solid. And if he's your power forward, you're probably having a lot of success with the card. Tim Duncan, I think, is another guy I got to put in B tier. I don't love Tim Duncan. I haven't loved the card that much. But on the defensive end of the court, he reminds me of what the power within Shaq is. Right? Outside of Tim Duncan can shoot the ball, right? Tim Duncan based on very quick. It's not great, but you can knock down shots with him, and I think that is very important. Can play good defense. I'm a pretty decent fan of the Galaxy Opal Tim Duncan. We got 3 guys left. Tyler Hansbrough is up first, and I get why people love this Tyler Hansbrough card. I do. He's basically just Dolph Shades. I mean, when Dolph came out and Tyler Hansbrough came out, people were like, well, they're kind of the same. Dolph's just a little bit better. I don't know if Dolph is better, okay? I really don't. Do I think Dolph's a little bit better? Maybe. But I don't think it's enough to separate them. Hansbrough definitely deserves C tier. Wes Unseld, look. My comparison for this is, how does Wes Unseld compare to Jimmy Butler? Now, Wes Unseld does have a better release. Let's start with that. Does have a better release. Does have a better, I can't really say better dribble 6. Basically the same dribble 6. Stats badge-wise, it's pretty close. You can't separate Wes Unseld and Jimmy Butler. You just simply can't. I do prefer Wes Unseld's release, though. But last, certainly not least, we got Willis Reed. I'm sorry, guys. I'm not sitting here gonna hype up Willis Reed. I'm just not. Jump shot 22 on quick is fine. Quick dribbles out, Kobe escape is fine. The card is 6'9" at the power forward position. That's not great. I mean, he can defend, but he's just not great. And I'm not gonna sit here and hype up Willis Reed. I am gonna put him in C tier because I think he belongs there. But again, I'm not gonna sit here and hype up the card. I am gonna drop Sharif. No, I'm gonna drop Tyler Hansbrough down just to keep this thing evened out a little bit. But overall, guys, I don't mind Willis Reed. I just don't think he's really like that. So how I'd rank my S tier, it would be like this probably. Shaq number 1, Bob number 2, Dirk 3, Blake 4, D-Rob 5. A tier goes like that. B tier is that. Even at C tier, guys, I'd be comfortable in an unlimited game using all those guys. D tier is like the guys that are a little shaky, guys I wouldn't want to use, and obviously Bob Pettit. I'm sorry, you're not getting this disrespected. You're not even that bad, Bob Pettit. You might even be better than some of these guys at D tier. So our F tier is empty today. And that's a surprise because normally it isn't. It is going to wrap it up for my power forward tier list for today, guys. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comments. Drop a like on the video. Subscribe if you are new. And as always, man, I love you guys. Have a blessed day.